PIT reaction video. And today, as you can see, we have on the screen, it's a company called Cut. We're going to react to one of their particular videos. And it's going to be a serious video, as you can see right here. 3 dying people talk about their death. We're going to get into it in a second. But the reason I want to react to this video because it's kind of close to me. It's kind of close to my situation. My mom passed close to a year ago with COVID. She went to the hospital, and pretty much that was the last time I saw her. But it's kind of something I wanted to react to. And also, I want to check out Cut as well. This is my first time looking at their channel. I've never heard of them before about an hour ago. So I just want to check out this video and see what kind of content they put out. And they may have some other type of videos that I'll be checking out here in the future. But let's go ahead and get into today's video.
Are you scared of dying?
I'm not scared about dying. I'm scared about leaving my family.
Yeah, that's kind of the feel of most people. They're not really scared of dying. They're pretty much scared of what they're leaving behind, their family, whether they have daughters, whether they have sons, whether they have other family members or hurt that's going to come from those people after they leave. The anticipation of things. But see, these people already know, as far as I think they know, 3 dying people. So they already know that they're about to die. Most people don't know. And I guess that's kind of one of the things of knowing and not knowing when it's going to happen. It's pretty much, even if the doctor told them what day they were going to, or how long they have, that can be off, that can be earlier, it can be later. So it pretty much kind of all depends on what situation that they are currently in. If I can get my crazy computer to act right.
The idea of not being there for my son when he needs me, or being there for my wife, that's what scares me.
Yeah, in the beginning it kind of almost sounds like he has like a Down syndrome or something, but he's just emotional. Just like he got a frog in his throat, because he's kind of thinking about what happens if he does pass away. So that's kind of like the emotional part of people that kind of comes out when they have to think about the terms or the conditions of what's about to happen here in the future. So it's 3 people. And it's kind of a scary thing to not know.
I'm Brian Hill.
They do.
My name is Layla.
JJ Singleton.
JJ, how old are you?
I'm 34.
Do you know why you're here today, what we're talking about?
We're going to talk about death and having a chronic condition that limits my life.
Just kind of out of nowhere, my kidneys failed and ended up in the hospital with end-stage renal disease.
6 years ago, I was diagnosed with a colon cancer, and a year later, it came back and spread throughout my body, and they told me it was a terminal diagnosis and incurable.
So for him, he's had the disease longer, looks like anybody else, but he said now he has it again, and it's terminal. I'm assuming that's the reason he's wearing his hat. He probably doesn't have any hair. He's probably going through chemo. That's something else that I know. It's my sister, her husband. He was going through chemo. Chemo pretty much makes you weak. Sometimes, I don't remember everything, but I know it makes you weak. You can't really do a lot. So it kind of takes a lot of your strength away. But it's real.
Curable.
Are you dying?
Yes.
I would
And I think that's one of the scariest things, to know that you're dying. You just don't know when. And the rest of us get to walk around and know that there's still a chance that we could die too. But the thing is, we don't know when, we don't know how, unless we have like some kind of fatal heart attack or something, we come back. We just don't know. But these 3 people right here, they know that their body is having issues, and their body is maybe shutting down any day, and there's nothing that they can do about it. There's no treatment for it, and they're pretty much just enjoying the rest of the time that they have left. And I guess they're here today to kind of explain to everyone what it feels like, what they're going through, what's causing the pain. Is there any pain, and whose life is going to be affected by it?
say yes.
So Parkinson's, it doesn't kill you, but the symptoms of it can lead to earlier death.
When did you first find out?
I was at 27 years old. I was going to college and started losing my vision, going blind, and that's when I ended up in the hospital. And by that point, I had about 5% function left in my kidneys, and then was really, really lucky and had a transplant, and was doing really well, and then unfortunately started rejecting.
I continue to fight, get chemo treatments.
But why get the chemo treatment?
Because I'm not ready to die yet. There's a lot left to do, and a lot of people I believe I can help
When you first found out that you had Parkinson's, how did it feel in that moment?
It's a heavy question. I think leading up to my diagnosis, I knew I had Parkinson's. My mom had it, and
Yeah, that's something else. Like a lot of times these things are hereditary. A lot of times they're passed down. I think sometimes it's just in the family. It's in your DNA. So eventually you may end up with it, you may not. But it is a higher chance if someone has a certain disease in your family, that it's more than likely that you may end up with it as well. And that really depends on diet. You can diet and you can do all these other things, and you still can get it. Sometimes it doesn't come to you, and sometimes it does. I mean, this is just one of the things that it's one of those things where this is just kind of sad. You know, you'll probably see a lot of reaction videos to these type of videos, but this is just something that I think a lot of people understand. It's just that unspoken thing that we just don't talk about. People who are dying. A lot of people going through chemotherapy, and it's not just these type of deaths. It's people who are dying who don't even have disease. The thing that's rampant going on, I think it's just all over the country, is people are dying that don't have disease. There's a lot of people who are dying who are a lot younger than these people who we see on the screen, and it's for different reasons. Someone that was close to me and my wife, one of our friends that we know, son died. I'm really not going to disclose what happened, but it's kind of, I mean, it can happen to anybody, any moment, any time. But because it's just, unless it's close to home, you really don't really think about it as much. It's not really on your mind, so it's not really something that's in the forefront of your brain for you to be like, there's a chance that I won't make it tomorrow. But it's just, these people have that reality every single day they wake up, depending on the stage, depending on what position there is. They can go to bed tonight and not wake up, and that's just the state of mind that they're in, the state of their bodies, the state of the disease. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much adding more stress in their life and more stress on their body just because they know these things, and it's probably creating more issues and more anxiety and more things like that, depending on how they're handling the situation.
And the moment I was diagnosed, it was almost a relief. As weird as that sounds, knowing what's going on with your body is better than not knowing.
I was losing an extreme amount of weight. I couldn't use the bathroom. And then at the end, my skin was turning gray is when my mom made me go to the doctor.
When you found out, were you angry?
I was.
And that's another thing. A lot of men like me, I need to go to the doctor myself. Men don't normally get the yearly checkups. Men don't normally go to the doctor. Like he said, his mother had to make him go to the doctor. I have some things I have to go to the doctor about myself. I haven't had a colon test in years, and I'm over 40, so I'm probably close to the age where I need to be getting that checked every year. So a lot of men don't really go to the doctor. That's just something that I don't know why, but I mean, men just kind of just like that. They don't like going to the doctor, so we may not go and we may not find out anything until it's almost too late because of that. But that's just how most men are, and that's something that we think we have to get accustomed to doing. That's the thing that I think a lot of men have to change, and just make sure you get that regular checkup at least once a year, the regular physical, to make sure your body is working, and the doctor can tell you this is what's wrong, this is what's right. Now there's a lot of conspiracy theories of doctors are pushing certain drugs on you. They're pushing these things on you so you can be an addict, or you can be this and do that, but you still want to go just so you can be sure that there's nothing wrong with you. So if a day like this happens where you, like she said, she lost her vision one day. By the time she got to the doctor, she found out she was having kidney problems, and her kidney was operating at a 5% level, which is pretty much failing. And I also have an aunt. I just thought about this, man. A lot of these situations people are going through is things that I even have going on inside of my family. Like one of my aunts she had kidney issues. I think she only has like one kidney right now. So man, I didn't even think about that. But now I'm starting to be a little bit closer to home than I thought.
It's like a sense of desperation, or it was kind of just like a freeze. It was that disassociation of like, how could this be happening to me? I'm young, I'm supposed to have my whole life ahead of me. And, if I didn't go into the hospital, I think when I did, I may have not lasted more than like another week.
There are times where I'm very angry. And that anger it's terrifying. It's so terrifying, I push it away. Yeah.
Is that good to push it away?
No, it's not. And as you can see,
It depends on how he's It depends on how he's handling anger. Is he pushing it away by just walking away and releasing it in a different way, or if he's holding it in? Yes, it could be dangerous because that's what happens with a lot of people with these school shootings and these random things that we see happen. They have a lot of built-up anger. They don't talk to anyone about it. They just hold it in and they hold it in and they hold it in, and one day they let it all out in a way where they shouldn't have. They would have been rational enough to be to think about it and make a rational decision, but they don't because they just let it sit and they let it sit and it simmers and simmers and simmers, and then all of a sudden something happens and you just snap. So I don't think it's good to hold in anger. That's something that I've done in the past as well. And I've learned how to let it out and release it. It's pretty much just talking to somebody. It's pretty much just having a conversation. Like I think he said he's married, so it's pretty much just having a conversation with his wife, and talking to her about it, so she can kind of help him with the situation. And if she can't help him, I'm sure there's somebody else who close to him that wouldn't mind talking to him to help him with these issues or whatever it is that's frustrated him inside of his life.
We're talking, I'm becoming more dyskinetic because that stress from the anger is coming up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's good.
Do you feel like you're dying?
Some days I really do. Like some days my body feels like it's just rejecting and falling apart. That's the days where I really feel like it's still controlling my life and don't have that much time left.
Yeah, even just looking at him, he kind of looks a little pale. I'm not trying to make fun of, but you can see like his lips look kind of chapped. His skin is looking he's kind of looking like he's turning old in a way. But I mean, it's kind of like the disease or the symptoms pretty much kind of just eating away at him on the inside to outside. You can see kind of the scars forming on his face right there, and it's just something he just can't control. There's no cure for it. I mean, if there is, it's probably the chemo he's going through. It kind of helps him to last longer, but eventually it's going to take over his body.
My body is working really, really hard just to keep up with the normalcy of what life is.
What does it feel like?
Closest way I can describe it as the worst your body's ever felt after like a physical activity, mix it with having the worst flu you've ever had, and that's just the very tip of the iceberg.
Dude, it feels like shit. So, like if you work out real hard and the next day you wake up and you're achy, it's like that.
I don't know what Parkinson's is. Let me go ahead and see if I can look that up so I can see. Because I thought at first he looked like he was kind of emotional, and now it just looked like he's kind of, I don't mean to be rude, but it's kind of like the kids who are handicapped in school, where they kind of, you can see from the way they talk and the way they act, he's kind of fidgety. He can't sit still, almost like these young kids who like to run around all day. So it's kind of like he can't control. It's almost like Asperger's, with somebody who can't control what's going on with their body. Because I'm not really familiar with Parkinson's. Let me go ahead and look it up. Progressive nervous system disorder that affects movement. So as you can see, he was moving and he can't really sit still. Even his facial expressions which kind of changed. His mood kind of almost changed. You can see in the video. Symptoms start to gradually, sometimes starting with a barely noticeable tremor in just one hand. Tremors are common. In the early stage, your face may show little to no expression. Your arms may not swing. When you walk, your speech may become soft or slurred. And he was kind of talking like that too, like kind of a slurred talk. Some of the symptoms: tremor, slow movement, rigid, loss of automatic movements. You may have a decreased ability to perform unconscious movements, including blinking, smiling, or swinging your arms when you walk. And I want you to imagine if you just can't smile, you're probably going to be feeling a certain type of way just because you can't even smile. I mean, you probably have a lot of frustration. And man, I just can't imagine that because I'm not going through it. I don't know what it feels like. Even if these people describing how they feel, I can kind of in a way understand, but there's no way for me to really feel what they're going through. He was saying it feels like he went through a workout combined with the flu. That's not a good feeling. He says that's just the beginning of it. So I just want to do a little quick little look up to see if I can see that on the Parkinson's part.
Times almost 100.
Over the last 7 years, I've had many bouts of wanting to give up. At one point, I was very close to calling it quits and just committing suicide. And
yeah, and that's one of number one. I don't know about number one, but I know a lot of men delete themselves when I'm not going to really say the word, but we know a lot of men pretty much delete themselves because of the extra stress just of outside of this, other things that happen inside life, family, friends, frustration and stress, kind of like I think the other guy was saying when he was holding it in. A lot of men do that because they just hold their anger in. They just get tired of a lot of situations and they just delete themselves. He said he's been at that point several times where he felt like it and he just didn't do it. I think it's kind of like it's a mental battle going on between all of these people who were sitting here watching. They have a mental battle with themselves, a mental battle of what I should do this tomorrow, do that tomorrow. Am I tired? Am I feeling? I mean, for them, normalcy is like the flu. And I'm not sure what diseases the other two people have, but it's all, like if they catch a disease or anything else, will that cause any other issues as well?
Luckily, I had some very good friends that helped me see that I do have a purpose. But even still, with family and friends helping me, there's days where it's like, don't know if this life is worth it sometimes.
Do you feel like you live your life differently now?
Yes, I do not take things for granted. I try to live in the moment.
I try to look at it as a blessing and knowing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us who don't have these diseases, we don't pretty much know what they're going through. We can't take it. I think a lot of us do take it for granted because we don't have these type of situations that we have to fight and battle through, not just occasionally when we get sick or when we maybe fall and break a bone or get something, maybe have a cut or a bruise or even get the flu or COVID, the thing we have right now. We can come back from that. They have to deal with this pretty much day in and day out, hour by hour, day by day. And I'm pretty sure it's a big struggle. Even with pausing right here, like the way she's looking out of the corner of her eyes, like, yes, this is hard. It's not easy, and it kind of strengthens you. It's either going to make you or it's going to break you. It's going to strengthen you or it's going to weaken you. You're pretty much going to end up where you end up.
That I was given a lens to look in through different than most.
I don't take the little things for granted, like such as getting up to pick up my son. Those moments when I'm able to do that, I appreciate them so much more.
Has it affected your sex life?
When I was on dialysis, it did, because your kidneys are kind of part of your sexual chi. I'd say now it hasn't at all. And I tell them, that I'm immunosuppressed and that, we just need to be really careful. I make sure that they get tested.
How has cancer affected your sex life?
Very, very much so. Like, it is virtually non-existent. So there's stages where it's just like it don't enter my mind at all for weeks.
It takes a little bit more thought process, like, hey, we're gonna do it in an hour, take your medication.
Which makes it so romantic.
Oh yeah. Like,
you can see his facial expressions. He can't even control it. He can't going in. He's going out. It's like it's almost like different personalities, but it's just different facial expressions because his disease is kind of just moving in its own direction.
hey baby, I took my pill. Half hour, it's go time.
Are you scared?
Not anymore. I was when I was diagnosed, but I've came to terms with it. Whenever it happens, it's gonna happen.
Are you scared of dying?
I'm not scared about dying. I'm scared about leaving my family. The idea of not being there for my son when he needs me or being there for my wife, that's what scares me.
Suffering, no one wants to suffer.
Have you done everything that you wanted to do?
No. Like, I'm not afraid to die, but I still want to travel. I want to impact more people in the cancer community with my story. I want to help better people's lives, really.
No, I haven't done everything I wanted to. I want to raise my son. I want to watch him grow up.
I don't think anybody ever gets to do whatever it is they want to do in life. I mean, that's just a question I don't think anybody can say that they've accomplished. Even if you ask Bill Gates, if you ask Elon Musk, they probably will say the exact same answers. There's a lot of things that they still want to do because we all have dreams, we all have goals, we all have visions, we all had, especially these three, I'm pretty sure they had plans before they got hit with whatever news they got whenever they got it. And then when they got that news, they had to do a whole complete turnaround to what they were going to do to adjust to their new life, which is going to involve the disease, whatever it is that they have to deal with to get through life. I mean, this is news that doesn't just affect them. It's going to affect their family, their friends, their co-workers if they work. I think one of the ladies said she was in school, so this is going to affect whether she decides to even go to school, to complete school. It's going to be heavily thought about.
To be there for my wife, and to know that there may come a time where I can't show up for my family.
Frustrating.
Those are the moments where I think I worry about dying early.
What do you think it will feel like?
I hope it's painless. I hope it's, kind of slipping into the void.
It's going to feel like an escape.
Is that a good feeling?
I think it will be.
The way this condition works, I mean,
Yeah, he's kind of thinking that for him, that once he leaves, he's going to be rid of all the pain, rid of all the turmoil, all of the frustrations, all of the headaches, all of the mental breakdowns, and all the things that's going on. So it'll be a lot less to worry about. But no one knows what happens when you die. It's a lot of things that people think happen when you die, but no one actually knows, because people who die don't come back. So we have these things about people saying they died and they've seen this and they've came back. But I don't think a person really dies and come back, but I could be wrong. But it's just something that they have to think about. If they don't think about it every day, I mean, they know it's going to happen. They don't know when. All they can do is prepare and hope they live as long as they would want to live, which is, I don't know how long that's going to be. I mean, this is just a sad situation.
eventually I will lose control of my body, and I will be a prisoner in my body. So I think that time when I do die, I will feel like I'm being set free from a body that had failed me.
When you pass, what are the plans?
I don't know. I like the idea of doing like an end of life party. And I've told, I've always been very open about what my wishes are when I die. I want to be cremated and made into a tree.
Have you made plans?
They will definitely involve being cremated and some kind of big, dramatic, goofy gesture.
Who's not invited?
If you have an opinion of me where I've made an impact in your life, good or bad, you're more than welcome, because by that point, I'm not going to hold anything against you.
What asshole's going to be happy you're dead?
I don't think anyone. And I don't know if that's me being just like hopefully not full of myself.
Oh man, who's gonna be happy I'm dead? I mean, probably someone who's just looking to take my spot and be with my wife.
Do you think about that?
Not until now.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't have people that would just be like, I hate him. I'm glad he's dead. But if there is out there, at least I'll make his day.
What's one thing you're going to miss when you're gone?
Just sensation, right? We get to eat and feel and hug and have these emotions that are so moving, and that's all going to be gone when you're no longer here.
People. Just the experiences that you have with different people, that's one of the best feelings that you could ever have. Just randomly somebody comes into your life, changes it, and makes you truly feel like you're special and they're special.
What are you going to miss the most when you're gone?
I'm gonna miss sex, that's for damn sure. No, in seriousness, I'm gonna miss living. I think it's something that we take for granted. And with Parkinson's, little aspects of living are taken away from me as the disease progresses. So I think in a way, this sounds horrible, but in a way I'm kind of dying slowly. I've never put it in that language, but when I do, it sounds awful.
I started with, are you dying? And you said no,
Yeah.
but then you said,
I don't know if I'm not dying, I'm just losing my ability to live. Yeah, take advantage of it. Life isn't guaranteed to any of us.
Oh man, this is a tough video to listen to, a tough video to watch, filled with emotions. Kind of touches home for me. I mean, most people don't know what it's like until they're in the hospital, until they have something serious happen. These three people have the chance of experiencing it at a younger age. I'm not sure how he is, but the other two don't look like they're over 40. He looks like he may be close to 50, but I mean, this is things that we take for granted on a day-to-day basis. Talking to our kids, talking to our spouse, talking to our family, being able to walk and talk. There's a lot of people who have handicaps where they can't even walk and talk. I mean, outside of the other things, just having food, just having water, the basics of life. I think we do take a lot of stuff for granted. I don't think I know anyone who has Parkinson's, and as you can see from the video, he cannot control his emotions. He's still losing more control of his body. He can't sit still. His facial expressions change every couple of seconds, and it's just pretty much something I don't wish on anybody. I mean, it's a part of life. It's part of something that we're all going to eventually have to go through and have to deal with at some point or another, whether it's our life or whether it's a friend's life or whether it's a family member's life. It's something that we're all going to have to deal with. I just wanted to do a reaction to this type of video. I didn't know it was going to end up like this. I didn't know I was going to have so many things there that I was going to be related to, but that's life. This is PIT Reacts. I'm out.